quick note before we get into this. A few of you left comments recently that I got notifications for, but when I went to respond, they just weren't there. So if it seemed like I ignored you, that wasn't the case. I just couldn't actually respond to your comments. One of those comments actually asked about dry boxing, and it's something that comes up pretty often. This made me realize there are a lot of small habits like this in the cigar world, things people do before they ever light up. Some of them can make a noticeable difference, and some are just part of the ritual. So we're going to start taking a closer look at these, and how they actually affect the smoking experience. And starting with dry boxing, what is it actually doing to your cigars? And more importantly, when does it actually make sense to use it? If you're not familiar, dry boxing is just taking a cigar out of your humidor and letting it sit in a drier environment before smoking it. The goal is simple. Reduce some of that moisture before you light it. Usually, this comes up when a cigar feels a little too humid. You might notice a tighter draw, an uneven burn, or a cigar that just doesn't want to stay lit. So the idea is, let it dry out a bit, and maybe it'll smoke better for you. The first time I tried it was because of that exact situation. I had a cigar that just wasn't smoking right. The draw felt restricted, and the burn was off. So instead of giving up on it, I let it sit out for a while and came back to it later. This is where most of the confusion comes from, figuring out what the actual problem is, because not every tight draw is caused by moisture. If a cigar feels overly soft, almost spongy when you give it a light squeeze, and the draw feels consistently tight the whole way through, that's usually a sign it's holding too much moisture. But if the cigar feels firm overall, and the draw is tight in one specific spot, or it starts tight and suddenly opens up, that's usually more of a construction issue. So, if the issue is moisture, dry boxing can help. But if it's construction, you're looking at a different situation entirely. Now, if a cigar goes out on you, that's not uncommon. And in some cases, letting it rest for a bit can actually improve how it smokes when you come back to it later. What I wouldn't do is extinguish a cigar or cut it above the burn line with the intention of putting it back into your dry box. Once it's been lit, that aroma and stale smoke can transfer into that environment and affect the cigars you're storing there. If it does go out, it's usually best to just let it rest in the ashtray for a bit. Around 15 to 25 minutes is typically enough to let things settle. After that, you can check how it feels. If it's firmed up a bit and the draw feels more open, you can go ahead and relight it. If it's been sitting out for a long time, especially overnight, it's usually better to just let that one go. A quick cold draw before lighting can help avoid this entirely. It gives you a sense of the draw right away, before you commit to the cigar. After doing this a few times, the biggest thing that I noticed is this. Dry boxing doesn't really fix a cigar, it just brings down the moisture level. And when that's the actual problem, the difference is noticeable. The draw opens up, the burn becomes more consistent, and the cigar just behaves the way it should have to begin with. If you find yourself needing to do this pretty often, it might be worth taking a look at your humidor as well. Sometimes cigars are just stored a little higher than they need to be, and over time, that extra moisture starts to show up in how they smoke. And part of that comes down to the cigar itself. Thicker, denser tobaccos tend to hold on to moisture more than lighter ones, so they don't always need to be stored as high to perform well. So the way I look at it, dry boxing isn't something you need to do on a regular basis. It's just a tool. And it only makes sense when a cigar is holding too much moisture. If that's not the issue, you're not really gaining anything by doing it. It's just another one of those things you get to feel for over time. If this is something that you've tried before, I'd be interested to hear how it's worked for you. I really enjoy making videos like this that are suggested by the community. If there are any others out there, please drop them below and we can dig into it a little bit deeper. And thank you, as always, for spending time with me here in the Honest Humidor.